In this week's video, we are going to use ResinCrete and a new technique to create some Posh home decor. Hello my creative friends! We're gonna make some little fancy schmancy pots. Well, at least I think they look fancy schmancy. We'll let you be the judge of that. Sure, you can go to the store and buy something kind of like this, probably for cheaper and probably most definitely for a lot less of my time. But what's the fun in that? These are one of a kind, made from the heart, and possibly a tad bit of frustration, pieces of art. So let's get started. I ordered this small silicone vase mold off of Amazon. And of course, you're gonna need your ResinCrete, which is an eco-friendly, non-toxic powder substance that you mix with water. I've also got my new favorite tool, my J-Diction leveling board. This way I don't have to make sure my whole craft table's level, I just have to make sure my board's level. And some of you have asked about the silicone mat that I use to work on. This is actually a doggy feeder silicone mat. And the reason I got it is because it has this great lip around the edge in case you're working with fluid arts to help things not run off your mat and onto your floor. Don't worry, I'll put a link down in the description for all of the tools and supplies that I use in case you're interested, and some might even have discount codes. I found out something really cool today, that J-Diction actually has a ResinCrete calculator on their website. And so I don't have to guess anymore. I just fill up my mold with water, see how many milliliters it is, and then go online to their calculator, put in my approximate weights, and then we're ready to go. Although I'm still a little off on my measurements, it's better than being way over or way under. I'm gonna go ahead and add my ResinCrete to my cup and get it ready to mix. Oh, hold on. I almost forgot. I have to prep my mold first. I am telling you, my head was totally backwards when I was doing this experiment. It was just kind of a last minute idea, and so my brain was not working right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it inside out, and I'm going to put some copper leaf on it. This is experiment number 1. We're going to do one vase and one little pot, and then you can let me know which one you like the most. The great thing about these silicone molds is this copper leaf sticks right to them. You don't have to add anything else. So I'm just placing the copper leaf around the inside of the mold wherever I think it might look good. And what this copper leaf will do when you pour your ResinCrete is it will embed in the ResinCrete, creating this cool texture. Now that I'm done applying my copper leaf, I'm going to flip my mold outside in, outside in, yes, outside in, and put it back to where it was supposed to be originally. You'll notice that your copper leaf will kind of crackle when you do this, but that's exactly what we want, so don't worry about that. Now it's time to get back to mixing my ResinCrete. I was getting ahead of myself there. So I'm adding my water. I thought it'd be a great idea to get a silicone whisk to mix this with, but what happened is it didn't scrape my edges and sides on this cup because it's very straight. So yeah, that didn't go so well, as you'll see when I pour it and all the lumps and chunks come out. I'm also going to add some mica powder. This is a chameleon mica powder, living earth colored. They're kind of a color shifting mica powder. And I'm trying to get a marbling effect. So I don't want to stir it all the way in, I just want to create a marble look. And you'll see that I'm discovering I have a lot of chunks in there. So I'm mixing it up more with a stick, which is helping. Because I mixed it so much, I lost my marbling, so I got to add in some more of that mica powder and create my marbling effect again. And then I'll finish pouring it. And yes, there are more lumps and bumps. It's a really good experiment on how forgiving ResinCrete is, because you'll never know in the end that there were lumps and bumps in it. Once I get it poured, I'm going to start wiggling and jiggling it to release any of those bubbles that might be in there, and then top it off with the last of my product. This is going to set up in 30 minutes. It sets up really quick. However, I'm going to leave it longer before I demold it, because it does take a while for it to fully cure and set up. And I don't know how fragile this piece will be. Okay, while I'm letting that cure, I want to hop on over to Scott's studio and see what he's up to, because he's the real artist in the family, guys. He's working on a lighthouse from a trip we took to Maine, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. You'll have to stay tuned and I'll show you a peek of it when he's done. All right, time to demold. This is the exciting part. Demolding these is always like the biggest rush. You never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's totally unexpected. I love all of the little pits that the copper leaf made, and there's even some of that marbling showed through. I think next time I'd add a lot more color for the marbling, but it feels like smooth porcelain, and it looks really cool with the copper leaf embedded into it. I love it, and it kind of does look extravagant and a little posh, I think. And the mold came out really clean. Don't let your molds hang out too long inside out. We don't want them to lose their shape. And now it's time to move on to our second mold, and we're gonna add a lot more color. I ordered these little mini pot vessels off of Amazon as well. And J Diction sent me their line of pigments that are specially made just for ResinCrete. So I thought I'd give these a try too. It comes with a lot of fun colors. I'm also going to use some Arteza mica pigments, some MeySpring mica pigments, some more of my chameleon powders. I'm just kind of throwing everything in there but the kitchen sink, because I'm not sure what I'm gonna wanna do. I just wanna get it all ready just in case. All right, I'm gonna flip my mold inside out and start with the copper leaf again. But first, I'm gonna put gloves back on. I have a weird reaction to mica powders. They really make me itchy, so I always like to work with gloves when I'm using mica powders. We're gonna start with this Mayron copper. I used to use this in my geodes and it made the most stunning effects. And I'm just using a soft paintbrush, or you could even use a little fluffy makeup brush to apply your pigments to the silicone. And again, it sticks right to the silicone. You don't need to do anything else. I'm trying to go for an earthy pottery barn kind of vibe, but we'll see what actually happens in the end. I really love the way the colors look after I apply them, but you'll see in the end it doesn't turn out to look anything like this, but it's still really cool. Again, I'm measuring how much ResinCrete I need to make, using water first to fill my mold. And then this time I was smart enough to write on the bottom of the mold with a Sharpie how many grams of ResinCrete are needed for this mold. I need to start doing that so I don't have to figure it out every time. And then again, we just mix it all up. But this time I'm thinking I want to try to add some of that ResinCrete pigment because I think a dark color behind the copper leaf would look really cool. I start with using the black, a lot of the black. I think I did about 3 squirts of black. And that's the thing with ResinCrete is it is naturally white, so it takes a lot of pigment to color it. And then I went in with a little bit of the purple to make it a deeper color. And I've never done this. I don't know what it'll look like or what will happen, but that is the fun in this. And this cured super quick. I don't know if it's because I added so much pigment, but within like 15 minutes it was already pretty much firm. But I let it set another half hour before I decided to demold it just to be safe. And I just wanted to show you, I have this Resiner's air purifier that I use and turn on when I'm working in the studio. And when I'm working with UV resin or epoxy resin or even getting out an alcohol wipe, this thing goes off and turns red because it picks up the VOCs in the air and filters them. I just wanted to show you that when I worked with ResinCrete this entire time, it stayed green with low to no VOCs in the air. Now it's time to demold our little pot and see what we have. It's pretty cool. However, a lot of my pigment just kind of soaked into that dark pigment. So I might try this again with a lighter pigment and see what happens. I'm going to use the ResinCrete sealer this time to seal these because I don't want it so glossy. I want it to look really natural. But first, I want to sand off the bottom, and while it's still not fully cured and hard, I just take these little nail salon files and I use those, and they work perfect for sanding off your edges. And that's how easy it is. Then I clean it up and I'm ready to apply my ResinCrete sealer. And you can already see it's bringing out a little more sheen, but not too much. Not like if you were to put resin all over it. And I just love how earthy and natural it looks. It does kind of look like volcano rock. I was a little worried that my mold was going to stain and not come clean, but I just washed it under dish soap and water, and it came out really good. And it's ready for our next pour. Later that night, I went ahead and put on a second coat of ResinCrete sealer, and now it's just time to bring them to life with some little faux plants and flowers that I got at Home Depot for 50% off. Always catch the sales so you don't have to pay so much. Now that I've added the flowers, I feel like these just really popped and exceeded my expectations. I'm going to keep trying to experiment with this, but which one do you like best? The white and copper leaf or our charcoal and copper leaf? I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if in nothing else, I hope that I've inspired you to create something too. Have a great week, everyone.